Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson. We are in the second part of the series of the Oklahoma deal for David Rosenbaum and David and Patti Royster. And I've got David and Patti on the show today. I would call them they're students. I guess we'll call you students.
Oh, sure.
But we're going to hear from their perspective and their journey to their first big deal. Guys, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
You know, I've watched you guys come in. It's really neat because you guys came in as an investor first. You gave me some of your money, some of your dough, but that itch was there, and you're like, hey, I want to go figure this out. And so you came to some of my training, and you've kind of went to everything that I have. I think you're in my mastermind, and you guys just closed on how many units was your deal?
107 units.
107 units. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So we'll jump into how did that feel when you closed? And then we're gonna go back.
Like, what did we just do?
I know. I was freaked out.
Yeah. We signed a bunch of documents and then thought, what did we just sign?
You don't even know what you signed, did you? Because they just give you the signature pages.
It was on my birthday when we closed.
So I told him for his 59th birthday, he got a 107 unit apartment complex. How many wives can do that, right?
That's it, man. So let's back up to the story, though. I want all the listeners to hear about your journey, and so if you would just tell everybody, your backstory and really the process. And let's just start with how you came along with the deal, and just give me the whole setup from going under contract to due diligence to we finally close. That's going to be it's a good story. I think it's a great story.
Well, I'll start, Patti, then you can jump in.
Okay.
So Dave Rosenbaum was also part of that boardroom. And so during that boardroom, we got to know each other. There was a competition to see who would be the golden pineapple. And David won one event and Patti won the other. So after that, we want to make sure we keep going on multifamily. And so we decided to have an accountability partner. So then we reached out to David and said, hey, let's start meeting on a weekly basis to make sure we know what each other's doing, to push each other along. And he had mentioned that he had this deal in Tulsa, Oklahoma that he was working to close on, and it fell through, that they couldn't bring up the money. And so when their due diligence deadline ended, they pulled out of it.
Okay.
And so we had just sold a property, a fourplex that threw off some money. So we said, hey, Dave, let's go back. We'll be your partner on this one. And so that's how it all started on this Tulsa deal.
So basically, you went to an event, my event, we'll call it, my event, and you, because we try to encourage everybody to mingle, but you found, Patti, you won a golden pineapple.
I did.
Those are coveted, by the way. A coveted golden pineapple award.
Oh, here, I want to see it.
Yeah, yeah. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you're gonna see a pretty golden pineapple award. So those are coveted. Not very many people get them. And so I think David and you are the only ones that won. I mean, I actually had another small group of people that won, but you got to actually do work to win.
Yep. I'm very proud of my pineapple.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And so that led to just communication. And then you guys just said, hey, let's just stay in touch. Because you were just like, hey, I want an accountability partner. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because, you can just put it aside and not do anything with it.
Yeah, because, I mean, listen, there's many people out there, I'm sure they're listening too. You've went to too many webinars or seminars or whatever it is, training, and you left and you didn't do crap. And
right.
that wasn't going to be you guys.
Yep.
No.
We were starting to feel like that's what was happening. So we're like, okay,
let's plug in, right? We'll plug in with each other, hold each other accountable, and we want to do this thing. We want to win.
Yep.
Yep. And I noticed that from you guys from the very beginning. I will say that most successful people have a characteristic in them of I'm going to do it. I remember David said the same thing to me, and that boardroom was like, I'm going to find a deal. I'm going to go to work, right? So you guys have that same attitude, I believe, which is like we're going to make it work. We're going to work this process. Mm-hmm. So then you came, and all of a sudden a deal maybe kind of fell into your lap, or from a partnership, from a relationship, and then what happened next?
Want to talk now?
Go ahead, you can keep that.
Okay. So I just don't know how to, we got two.
David, you're allowed to talk just a little bit more, and then you're going to be shut down.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure she gets fair time too.
No, it's good.
So, so the first thing we had to do, there's a lot of things we had to work on to get it going, as far as getting an attorney involved and also getting the loan going. And so we did use your resources, Corey, to get going on these things. And we also had done 2 levels of due diligence. David had done it prior, when they decided to back out of it, before they backed out. And then we went out there a couple of times and did our due diligence. Yeah. And I got to say, we didn't do a good enough job on due diligence. We'll have to cover that later.
Right.
Because there's a lot more we could have done.
Well, that's okay. It's your first learning curve, right? Now, here's what I love about this is you guys asked me for guidance, but you were truly going at it on your own, which is, I think, very unique. A lot of people will say, oh, Corey, I just want to do a deal with you. And what happens is I hold their hands and I forget all the little things that I'm doing because I've been doing it so long. And so you don't get as much eye-opening experiences as if you did one fresh all by yourselves. That's why I gave you guys this award, which I saw you pull up the award, Patti.
Oh, yeah. You want to see?
Yeah. This is the big... This is the Big Kahuna Award.
Big Kahuna Award. Yay! Woohoo.
Yeah.
We're really proud of it, and we're grateful
really
for
proud
it.
of it.
Isn't that cool?
Awesome.
Doesn't that just capture who we are?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
And, I said it in David's podcast, but because the reason that wave's important for me is because when you guys first started out, you don't even see waves. You're like in the middle of the ocean on a surfboard. And you're trying to figure out where you're supposed to go. So you're just paddling as hard as you can. And, and then all of a sudden you see the shoreline and there's a glimpse of hope. Right? And maybe that's when David called you and said, hey, I got a deal. And then you're like, whoa, okay. So then you start paddling harder. And, eventually you guys are in the wave. You're riding the wave right now. And the thing is, a wave can still crash you.
Yeah.
We're kind of tumbling in the white frothy mist right now.
But it's a hellacious momentum event because it takes a lot of guts and courage to ride the big waves, right? Yeah. And to say I'm going to do it on my own, right? And that's what you guys are like. So that's the story I would like to try to unpack. So when you guys, you're in the deal, and now, so the legal part. What did you guys do with the legal? Was that just getting your PPM stuff, or was that getting entities created and documents, things like that?
Both.
Yes, all of that.
Both.
And we had some 1031 money, so we had to kind of figure out, are we going to do this, using the 1031? How are we going to do all that?
So you guys are all group talking at this point, saying, okay, here's what we got, here's what I have, here's what I've got.
Yep.
Talking about splits. Are you guys talking about who's going to own what at this point, or are you just...
Yeah, we had to do some negotiating between the partnership of the people.
Because I want to talk about the little part where when you renegotiate, right? Because I think that's important, right? That's good. But so you guys all kind of come up with a basic idea of a structure, and everybody was kind of in agreement, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I mean, and that's really good to be open like that and try to have that. The sooner you talk about money, I think the better.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Everything's got to be on the table.
Because it's the elephant in the room. Everybody's like, well, okay, so we're all going to do this work, and we're all, everybody's like, yeah. But but it's like Japanese hearts and minds, right? The Japanese have 3 hearts and 5 different minds, and you got to figure out which is their real one. Right? I feel like that's how it is with partners. Everybody's got their face on. You're like, is that your true face, or are you wearing a mask? I don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had a number of phone calls, a number of emails where it got tense sometimes, where we had to open up a little bit and get our feelings out on how things are going, because you try to put a couple of people together or a group of people together, it doesn't always work right.
Yeah.
That conversation is so important. You got to work through those things.
David, that's a key point. Everybody that's listening right now, that is a huge takeaway, is that you've got to get it all out and be very open, right? Because if you leave any of those feelings left not touched, or if you have anything that's not out there, it'll fester.
Yep.
Right?
I would say choose your partners wisely.
Yeah. Amen.
Choose your
Amen.
partners wisely. Vet them. Find out about them.
Yeah. So why you guys are doing kind of like three things at once.
Yeah.
You're getting documents. You're already like going down the road, and you're building your parachute. Like you jumped out of the airplane, and you're building your parachute. But because you've got to not only do legal documents, but you're still working on a deal. You're probably on a timeline of a due diligence period, and you're still trying to get to know your neighbor.
Right. And
Right.
raise money.
Yep.
And there's that other thing about raising money.
Yes.
And so, what was your guys' part of? Really, was you had some of your own money, and basically, you wanted to be all involved in the deal. And give me that. What's your job? What do you feel like your primary role was going to be?
So we have roles defined now. I'm the CFO, so to say, and Patty's the CEO, and then we have David's more like the what is this? It's asset management kind of role,
Yeah.
and Chris is over the capex and all that. So we have roles defined, and but when you first start off, that's not the roles you have. Your role
Right.
is raising money.
Yeah, everybody's role is to raise money, right? It's like, but some more than others. Some people are leaning more on others, and you can tell that they're probably leaning a little harder on you guys, right? Because you just came out of your deal, you had a little bit of money available of your own, but you also have some pretty good resources and contacts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about that stress. So what was it like going through that?
I think
Is this where we cry?
He's still recovering.
Yeah,
He
I
wasn't
really got-
sleeping.
I swear I got rashes from stress rashes, and I'm still scratching now from these rashes.
Like,
'Cause,
let me take a Zyrtec.
yeah, I mean it was very stressful.
See that tick in my eye? It's not stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was stressful.
Patti, how did you support? Like, because did you feel that, or was it more David feeling it? And what did you do to help support him?
He's amazing with numbers. So he's a total numbers guy. And I just tried to support him and said, we're going to figure this out. There's a way we can do it. And I just kind of knew that we could figure it out.
Yeah. What was the raise, by the way, on this deal? And what was the purchase price?
It was 1.1 million, and the purchase price was 3.15.
3.15. That's a legitimate deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually ended up being a little less than that at the end of the day because they gave us some credits for vacancies.
Okay.
So I think it's 3.08, all said and done.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so Patti, as you're coming through this, and you're, because you guys are a definite team. I'm watching you guys on Facebook, and it's so cool to watch you guys work together. But when stress comes into that marriage, it's got to be a little bit hard at times. Right? Like,
Yeah.
Because not on a marriage per se, but like, I'm just talking about like watching someone stress that you care about is hard.
Yeah. It's really
And
hard.
you're both probably stressing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like looking.
And you're kind of saying, what are we
doing?
What do we get ourselves into, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you feel like you're questioning that a lot throughout the process? Or kind of in that beginning, like when that adversity really hits in? And then what did you do to it to fix it?
We just kept going. We kept stayed the course. We're going to figure out a way to do this. We're going to figure out a way to raise more money to make this happen. We just we weren't going to quit.
And what did you actually really do? Did you guys go pound the phones more?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
We're going to close the property.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? And no matter what, I don't care. And then you guys went to do the work, because there's a lot of people that say those words, but they don't put the action behind it. You know what I mean? And so you guys not only put words to it and said we are going to do this, but you put action behind it, which is then I need to start planning for B, C, and D solutions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We weren't going to fail.
Yeah.
And we're still not going to.
We're still not going to. We can't.
Well, and so that's really a big piece of the puzzle that I think people need to listen to is when you go into these deals, and to this day, I still feel the same way. So what you guys just experienced, I would like to say it goes away. Said no syndicator never. Okay? So it probably won't go away.
You burst our bubble.
because here's what will happen. You will start putting your eyes on bigger goals. And you just will. Eventually, a $3 million deal is not going to do it. When you're like, well, because once you've raised $1 million, you could probably go back and raise another $1 million. But you might see a deal that needs $2 million. Now you're going to be like, but let's do the deal because we could do $1 million, and I bet you we could do another 2 or another $1 million, right? Yeah. And so that's what happens. Ask me how I know this, right?
Right.
I just did that 5.5 million, right? I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. It's the most I've ever raised in one deal.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to be uncomfortable and to experience that. Just know that that's part of the journey, right? Mm-hmm. But how did it feel to get past that and win?
Yeah, I think now I'm extremely excited. So now that we're out there and we're seeing units being turned and all that, it's like, okay, now I know we're able to do it.
What would you do? I mean, how would you describe that feeling of the pressure? Because it's real.
Oh, it's real. So we just came back from Oklahoma. We were there for like 2 weeks. The property manager had a general contractor that was failing. So we just basically told them, stop what you're doing. We'll pay you for what you've done. So now we found all the subs, so we're kind of coordinating that. So we've got the model done. It's beautiful. Everybody loves it. And we've almost have 3 or 4 apartments ready to lease up. So we'll feel a lot better once these are leased up and we have people in there paying every month.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah. But so I'm specifically talking about just the part of just like the stress of trying to get money in the door, right? And just to make it close, right? Yeah. That's a real stress. A lot of times for me, once I get closed, like when we close the door, now, even though sometimes I might have a little bit extra left, I at least have my initial relief for a minute. Because, like, people I don't think they understand the stress of what it really is. Like, it's kind of like I want to lock myself in a room kind of stress. And I don't want to deal with anybody today. Like, I'm shutting down at 7 o'clock, and I'm not going to talk to anybody until tomorrow, right? I'm done. At least that's how it is for me sometimes, right? Shelly's like, I know when I'm in the middle of a raise because I'm kind of not a pleasant person.
So, Corey, actually with us, the close, I was still totally stressed. But then when we closed to get that extra money so that we could backfill some of our lines of credit, that wasn't a very exciting day for me.
Oh, that's right. Because you still needed to go, because when you got to closing, you still need a little bit extra money, and you had to go scramble to find it, right?
Right, and it was temporary money, and we felt leveraged with that money we pulled in. So I wasn't very comfortable even after the close.
And so let's talk about signing the docs. So you guys are going to the documents, the signed docs, and then you get experience to the lender's legal.
Well, get this one. The title company, I don't know what happened, but they didn't even say, hey, look, you can come in here and sign at our office. So it was this man and then Chris, our other partner, who was copying and making all these documents. This isn't our first buying
we
rodeo.
Printed and scanned everything.
It was
back
ridiculous.
On the computer. Pages would get missed, and they say, no, I need this page.
I don't know why they didn't offer their office to us.
Yeah, we should have gone into an office and done it that way because it was
First
even
American
a nightmare.
title, dumb. So even that was stressful, copying the documents.
So lesson learned, right? Now, so this is, and this is maybe be a teaching / how we did it podcast.
Use your title company. They're making money. Go use their office, use their services. That's what you're paying them for.
Yeah. And a lot of times your lawyers will pick a different, they'll say First American, but it's based out of Wisconsin or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But your local First American can usually do a courtesy closing for you.
Yes.
So in other words, they'll send all the wiring docs to that one place. You can just show up and sign, and then that's all you have to do. Yeah. Now, when you reach level 10, the Wudan Ninja secret level, right, then you make sure that whenever you're buying a property, that all your legal team dictates that it's your title company in your state that you have already predetermined who they are. So I would say go find a commercial, like in Arizona, we have a commercial lender or a commercial title company that only does commercial. They don't even do residential stuff. And so they handle all my closings. Oh, and I would advise you guys to do the same, and anybody that's listening to do the same and direct that traffic. So then you have your local people working in it, and now there's some extra benefits to that too, right? Because your local title company will take care of you because you're giving them lots of commercial business. And so maybe when there's a game, or you know how title companies do things for people, right? They may just take you out and like. For us, I'm told my title company, like next year for the Waste Management Open, that I want some tickets.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You went, right?
Yeah, I went. Yeah, it's crazy. Only in Arizona can you have a Waste Management Open. Okay, so I'm going to stay on track. This is good stuff. So, like, I always feel like everybody talks about how great it is. Oh, I closed my deal. I'm so excited. But listen, it's a lot more work.
This is the raw and real stuff.
Yeah, right?
Down to, I go to FedEx the package and it's like $90. And I'm like, what?
Well, that's minor compared to other
it was
problems we
minor
have.
compared to everything. But, just like, okay, where's the service here, people?
How much you realize how much you pay to play the game?
Oh yeah,
it's super expensive.
Yeah,
more than most people think, right? Like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, site visits, travel, so lender legal fees.
Oh yeah.
You that they slap on.
Yeah, it's just like, where are all these people at? I don't remember them doing any work for me.
Yeah, because they wanted to give an opinion on something.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we're in the wrong business.
So that happened to me recently too, right? So on my Campus Evolution, this attorney, so we needed a title opinion for an Oklahoma closing, right? So our deal was in Oklahoma, just like yours, and my attorney was in a different state, and he's like, "Well, I don't feel comfortable." And normally, I would say I would make that my legal guy. I hire the attorney, and I'm expecting them to say, "Here's how much you should be charging." But that was never discussed, probably like yours. And I get a bill for like $30,000. And it's for a little bit of my work. And then my real attorney that did my red line, that did all my stuff, his bill was like $12,000 for everything. Right? And so I about lost my mind. I called up the attorney and I gave him hell. I said, you got to be effing kidding me. I said some choice words maybe. I don't like to be that guy, but I did. I was able to get a refund. He gave me money back.
Sweet.
Which very rare. But you guys had the same experience.
Right.
Yeah, wasn't there some attorney you didn't even know?
Yeah, there was like two.
Like two. We're like, who's that?
So you guys close your deal. All of a sudden you're looking at your settlement statement. You're like, what's this?
Right.
Yep.
And how did you feel at that point? Helpless?
I was concerned, yeah. And every time I try to get the settlement statement before, they say, well, there's missing numbers on here. It's like, what is a real number? It took a while before I got all the details on it. By that time, you really couldn't react to it.
Yeah, because you got to close.
It's like they know they have you. It's like, you're not going to go back and lose all this money you paid so far. So
you got to close on the date, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and then the seller starts being a jerk. You got to close by this day and threatening all this stuff. And
also, here's what happened, Corey, is that when the extension happened, we took it. And so we told them we want to extend. And then the money wasn't handed over to them, that extra 25K to be able to extend it, until the next day. So they were saying, hey, it didn't make it in the time frame. Therefore, we can, because you didn't deliver the money by the due date of the extension, therefore we can walk away right now. We can keep all your money, and then they use that for leverage of other things too, or they wanted to. So we just had to fight back. But
Yeah. You say no, that's not the way the contract reads, right?
It was.
We got to give you notice, and then we send you the money. So yeah, and we just noticed that we're extending.
It was a little bit late, I think. It was like a day late, and so he just started having a fit.
Oh God.
And then he became a jerk.
Right.
And the closing wasn't supposed to be till December 23rd, but then he was wanting us to close it earlier.
and we made it work.
Yeah, he didn't want. Yeah.
So again, so more things that can go up and down, right? Now, what did you guys learn from that? Those contracts are really important, then, right? Don't be a day late on anything.
Right.
And
right.
Yep.
I mean, so we call those critical dates, right? And you got to know your critical dates on when money's got to be sent and documents have to be signed or executed for anything, and those are critical dates. I've had it same experience where I went past a day and then it was basically something that was totally wrong with the property that I could walk away from, but this guy had my earnest money. I walked away and I had to sue to get my money back, and he wasn't going to give it to me because he was like, no, I'm not going to give an extension. And I can't remember the deal of the contract, but anyways, the guy truly just walked with my money.
Did you get it back?
Only because, I actually got it back from the broker because the broker was representing him and me, and he didn't do part of his fiduciary duty correctly, and so his brokerage paid me. But that guy got the money. This brokerage just came out of pocket because he was in violation of Department of Real Estate rules.
Yeah.
So, I learned, that was my real lesson there, is that those dates are critical for a reason, and you just got to, it's very different than residential real estate. Everybody's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, let's close. But in the commercial game, you miss a day, and these guys turn into Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, right?
Oh yeah.
I thought you were a nice guy. He's like, "Wah!" You're like, who in the hell is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, so you guys closed, and where are you at now? So what are you doing now, Patti?
So, like I said, we just got back. We were out there for 2 weeks, and we've got people. We're streamlining a process to get these units.
Well, back up, Patti. Talk about when we first started, about why we were changing GCs. What happened initially?
Why we were changing GCs?
Yeah.
We're changing GCs because they were doing a crappy job, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and on top of that, so can I talk for a little bit on this one?
Yeah, man.
Because before you go with the bank wants to see what your CapEx spending is going to be. And so they have you itemize out the items. So we're going to do lighting, we're going to do painting on the railing, we're going to do the units, and so forth.
Yep.
And so we got through one of the GCs that our property management company had. We got dollar figures for these, but they were just a dollar figures. It's $20K to do lighting. It wasn't broken down this is the breakdown of the different things on that.
Right.
And so then also the bank wants you to say, okay, I want to get all the information on this GC, so we know that they're a preferred GC. So they had them all approved. And so from the bank standpoint, but on day one, all of a sudden they showed up and they started doing all this work, and they were doing crappy work. And we wanted to get multiple bids, so we didn't have any opportunity to do that. So we had to shut the whole thing down.
No one told them to get started. They just started.
They said, hey,
with no
of course
direction.
we agreed. As soon as you sign that document saying that we're the GC for the bank, then that means that's our green light to go ahead and do all the work.
So they just knew that there was a chunk of money in the bank and they could spend it and just go full forward.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That didn't go over well.
No. So you saw that right away and you said brakes, huh?
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah. So they're like, as we were going around, there's tape where they painted these railings. They didn't even pull the tape down when they left.
Or they didn't spray ahead of time, so there's.
So did you pay him any money?
Yeah.
We had
Did
to.
Yeah,
pay
we had to pay
some.
money.
Did
So
you
we
negotiate with
yeah,
them?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still more than we want to pay for sure.
Right. For subpar work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, no, all bids get multiple bids for everything.
Yep, we're
Right.
doing that. And like, we had a boiler go out. Well, it wasn't working. So these people in this one building, no hot water. We got 3 bids. We fixed it for under $1,000.
Like $500.
They've been waiting for hot water for like 10 years.
But we got bids for a new boiler that's
Are you
11,000.
kidding me? 10 years?
Yeah,
It's not no hot water. It's just lukewarm
not
water.
enough hot
Right.
water.
Warm
Right.
water.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the lady's so happy.
Oh, yeah. You're making happy residents at this
So
point, huh?
happy. Yeah.
And so what did you notice as the residents? Let's talk about residents for a minute. What was that like, experiencing residents, seeing you guys come in and do work and being part of that?
You know, honestly, most of these people are Section 8. Some of them are paying not very much money at all for their rent. So we are
$5.
$5 for their rent. We're in the process of not accepting Section 8 anymore and turning the kind of tenants we are. So we have a back building and we're just looking to get better tenants.
Yep. Just go open market, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So
And to go open market takes a hold. It's a process. This will take a while. So you just non-renew your Section 8s, right? Is that what you're planning on doing?
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's actually a convicted human trafficker in the building.
Yep.
They're going.
It's amazing what you find in that due diligence. We even talk about that. Like when you guys did your due diligence and walking around and what you saw.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So
What was
it's
that
kind
like?
of funny because just being out there, I was like, wait, is this the property we bought? I remember it being differently. You know what I mean? I was like, wait, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. And we thought we looked at it pretty darn good.
You thought, then you ever see the hoarders and the people that smell,
Oh
and
yeah.
like it's a different animal than what they showed on paper. You're like, this is what we're buying,
Yeah.
But
right?
it's doable. We can do this.
Yeah,
It's
but
doable.
so this is a value add. You guys are in a value add building,
We've
For
got
sure.
45 vacant units.
right? So the
And
goal,
one's supposed to be 30. Sorry.
Yep. So your goal right now is to fix the vacants to
Yep.
a higher standard and rent them out to open market,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then non-renew the tenants that are coming up that are Section 8
when we
Right.
can. Yep.
when we can. So right now it's renew everybody. Let's get the 45 rented and filled, and then we'll start the process of the backfill of all
Yes.
the other stuff, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's a very executable plan.
Yeah.
Right? Those are good, straightforward plans that when you look at put a roadmap to it, you're like, okay, here's what we can do. I see it, and obviously you guys see that vision, right?
Hey, so Corey, on our capex, we're able to save about 100,000 by doing by the research we've done.
Just by you guys trying to find the right vendors to do the deal.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of money on the table that would have been thrown away. Now we're also delayed on getting some of the units turned because we had to turn the ship around to get other things. So
Yep.
it's going to hit our operational a little longer, but we'll have more capex.
But you have more money you could use that some of that capex to kind of float that operational piece, and it still won't be as much
Right.
to
Right.
float it for a month or something,
maybe
right?
turn some more units.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
For.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is super, super exciting for you guys. How does it feel to be in the game?
Oh,
It feels
it's
awesome.
incredible.
It's kind of fun to walk around and they're like, you know, like, so who are you? Oh, I'm one of the owners. Oh, okay. It's kind of cool.
Right?
Yeah.
It's way cool, man.
Very cool. Yeah.
To say your friends that look at you and say, "What are you guys doing in Oklahoma?" Oh, we own this multi-million-dollar asset, this apartment building.
Right.
And I mean, it sounds and feels good coming off the lips.
Yeah.
It does.
But it's a lot of work and there's a lot of pride behind it too.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you guys will. And the best part is, I believe this is just the beginning for you guys.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, totally. It will be a happy day when I pull up and that parking lot's full.
Yeah. So, you're still in the midst of it. You're not done. I mean, buying it is just the first step. Operations is the real work, which you
Right.
guys are experiencing now. And then eventually your baby will grow up and you'll have most of the stuff fixed and it'll look now it'll never be complete. You'll always want to do something on them, right? But
Yep.
you've got to one day realize that this is where I'm at with this and we got it to this level. And then you hold it for a period and then maybe you sell it and buy another unit or a bigger unit or maybe you keep it forever. It all depends. But you have options.
Right.
Yep. We've got a bridge loan for 2 years.
Okay. So you're going to bridge to probably perm.
Yep.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So that is what's called a repositioning play. You're bridging the deal. You're putting work in. You're creating a whole different set of value, and you're actually changing the tenant base entirely.
Yes.
And that really will take 2 years to do. Let's say it took you a year to fix up the property, and all those units, and then from there it's about recycling your Section 8 tenants out to get open market tenants. So you got a non-renew, and then you still got to do the repairs as they come up, and that could be at a click of 5 units a month or something like that, right?
Yep.
And you might have to use your cash flow unless you've budgeted money for that to do all the repairs, or you use your cash flow to do those years 2, 3, and 4 turns until you have the total building like at that new rate with all the new stuff, and now it's a totally different asset.
Oh yeah.
Oh, totally. I liken it to a cruise ship. If you've ever been on a cruise, if they got to take a U-turn, it takes a long time to turn that ship around. But it does turn, and it will happen.
Yeah. Now, what's your guys' exit? Like, what do you think you'll exit for when you're done with this whole project? So, what you bought? You bought it for 3.6. You said
3.1.
3.1.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get 6. It was already undervalued to start with, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get 6.
That
Years from
is
now.
awesome.
We bought it at 28 a door,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
44.
44 a door is market rate.
And that's
Yeah.
today's market rate. 5 years from now, it'll be even more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's a base hit that you just turned into maybe a home run or at least a solid triple,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's good math. And then it'll cash flow along the way too. Once you get all this stuff up and running, then it becomes a cash cow.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so that's pretty exciting. So what's in your guys' future now? What do you think's next?
Well, we're going to look for other properties too. We want to keep doing this, but we don't want to. I don't want to jump in there until this one's stabilized.
That's good. So that's a good response, by the way. So I see a lot of investors, sometimes they go from like deal to deal to deal, and they go so fast and they forget that operations is key. And especially on your first one,
Yes.
do your first one, go through your experience, even if you spend the next 6 months, kind of pregnant with your baby, or 9 months pregnant with your baby,
Right.
And really getting intimate with it. So you and then you get it gelled in. And then you feel, and you're confident, because what'll happen, I believe, is your confidence level goes way up.
Right.
And you start to know things that you didn't even knew you were supposed to know.
Right.
Yep.
Right? All the ways people can screw you and take your money. Right? And sometimes what works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you'll keep going till you find all the right things that work, and that gives you experience. Now you have experience.
Yep.
And experience means confidence.
Right.
And then once you get to that point, you'll be ready to say, okay, I'm ready to do it again and repeat the cycle.
Right.
And take and all of a sudden you bring your stress, that stress, once you get one under contract, David, it comes right that monkey jumps right on your back, the stress monkey comes right back, and you say, okay, I've got to go do this again. I got to raise all that money, and it's an endless cycle of that. Now the monkey gets lighter, I will tell you that.
Good.
That's
Right.
good.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah, I really believe, as I've been raising capital over a period of time, like, what if I was to raise a $3 million deal? I don't even think like that's a issue. $5 million was a little bit more, but that ended up going pretty well. So it does get easier because your people start to know and like you and trust you. They start giving you more money, and they start, and if you do it right, and I believe you guys are absolutely going to do it right, of the referrals, they'll refer you all your new capital, right? People that are doing deals with you now will start referring you to new people that will take your money.
Right.
Yep.
That's a beautiful thing.
And we have people on the sidelines right now that know us and want to see how we do.
Yeah, they're watching you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And just like anything, the first time is the hardest. The first
It really
time you
is.
do anything is difficult, but the next time, we've learned so much.
Well, I am super, super proud of you guys because I saw a husband and wife come in with a thirst for knowledge, to take that knowledge, put action into it, and within, I want to say it's been 7 or 8 months. Maybe it's been a year.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Who would have thought?
It's been about a year now because I think we met in March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So almost a year to your first deal
Yep.
of new, not anything ever in the multifamily game, to now you're getting ready. You own your own one, and you've got a deal that's gonna make you a millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, probably an additional millionaire for you, David. Right.
Oh,
But how exciting, right?
Oh, it is.
it's
What does your kids say? Because I know you guys have kids. What do they say about mom and dad
I
right
hear
now?
something funny. They told us, they're like, Mom, Dad, if you guys are working this hard for us, don't do it. They were just telling us, back off, don't kill yourselves, because if you're leaving us legacy wealth, we're okay.
Yeah,
So it was interesting.
yeah. But do you guys find that you enjoy it though a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
We do, and we work together really well. We
Yeah.
work together. We're a great team.
I think you guys like it. I watch you guys just go to the, I watch your Facebook. I stalk you maybe, right? Because I really, I like watching your journey, right? Because I see you, the best part of what you guys are doing, because I work with my spouse too, my wife, Shelly, you guys know, she's my other half. And we do as much things as, our kids are still in the home, so sometimes she has to stay home. But truly, we're a husband and wife team, and we enjoy the journey together. And you guys are doing the journey together, and that really makes my heart very, very happy to watch the joy that I think is coming from this whole experience, and because you guys are doing it together.
Right.
Yep, we are.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
pretty
have
cool.
confidence in each other, too.
Yep.
Well, you have different skill sets too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, what would you, if you were to give any advice to the listeners out there? What's your best piece of advice from each of you?
You start first, Patty.
I would just say, learn from people smarter than you. Have a great mentor, and don't be afraid to take action, but take it smart. Be smart about what you do, what deals you do, how you spend your money, how you spend your time.
Nice. David?
Yeah, so Dave, not too long ago, I went to Nepal, and I hiked base camp in Mount Everest, which was a lot of fun. And afterwards, we went to this place where you bungee jump. And they also, so I did that. And I talk about freaking scary, falling.
Like 700 feet.
Yeah, it was just amazing, but it was such an acceleration. And on this journey, you got to do that. You got to jump off at some point and just, you got the harness in, you got these things to protect you, but you just got to do it. You just got to jump.
Nice. Get in the business, do it, take action, jump.
Yeah.
You learn by doing. Fail your way forward.
Well, guys, I really appreciate the time with you. If anybody wants to learn more about your guys' journey, how would they get a hold of you guys? Where would they find you?
You could do Patti at legacyfreedom.com.
Freedom
What's your-
Partner.
Really,
what-
at Legacy Patti, Patti at legacyfreedompartners.com.
What's your website?
We're working on it.
I know.
Yeah, it's coming.
Hey, listen, That's a good thing. The honest answer, great answer. Because listen, they just raised $1 million something and they don't even have a website. So if everybody thinks that if you're waiting to get your website done, you're doing it wrong. Just take action, jump, and go get busy. All that stuff, because it's really about relationships, anyways. Your website's just a shiny little thing for people to see. No one truly cares. No one truly cares. They care about you, right? And the people that they're doing business with. And so, very honored and very proud of you guys. Guys, listen, thanks so much for your time. If you're out there listening today, here's a great example of a couple that came together and said, you know what, let's go do this. And they have been on the journey for a year, and they've been making some sacrifices here and there. And it's truly a journey. And it's fun to watch them, guys. But if you want to do this game, the first step is you have to believe it. What you think is so important, it's vital to your success. Because if you believe it, you can achieve it. And your paradise is possible.